Welcome back, beautiful soul. So obviously you can tell by the title that I'm going to be talking about something known as the dark night of the soul. There are a ton of videos on YouTube that have probably a much better way of articulating what I'm going to talk about, and they put it a lot more eloquently, I guess. The reason I wanted to come on here and film this for you is because I'm actually right smack dab in the middle of one myself. A spiritual journey is something that I think begins really early on, you know, and for every individual, your journey is different. It just depends on the things that you are drawn to. I'm a witch. That's how I label myself or identify, and I have been for as long as I can remember. So this is not the first dip that I've had in this dark night type of thing. Yeah, so this hit me about, let's see, today's about a week ago, honestly. I was on vacation with my family, and oddly enough, it was during the new moon and the solar eclipse. And I just started feeling really, really off. And, you know, each time that you go through this, it's different. Every time is different. And the best way to describe it for myself is just what's going on now. It's just flat. Almost a feeling of being disconnected from everything, you know, like displaced, I guess, which is, it's weird. It's all just so weird. Each and every time it delivers a handful of feelings and experiences that it's hard to label and put your finger on, you know. And if you don't know what's going on, it can be kind of scary. You can actually feel like you're slipping into a deep state of depression. I mean, and that's what, you know, I guess it is sort of a spiritual depression. And I should have prefaced the video by saying that I am a deeply passionate person with everything, absolutely everything. And so for me to have this lackluster attitude is just very, very unlike myself. But it does go with the territory. Sorry about the sun. Kind of trying to find some shade here. So, Dark Night of the Soul, like I said, it's different for everyone. And it can last different periods of time. It just depends on how hard you fight it, you know? And I think that's one of my key points in this is to tell you, don't try not to struggle with how to get out of it, you know, and how to get better and how to figure out what's wrong and how can I fix this, because those types of things, it'll just drive you crazy, because what you're doing is essentially having sort of an ego death. And you'll know what I'm talking about if you've ever been through this before. You know, it seems like everything that you had put together and everything that was in place in your life suddenly just doesn't interest you. Now, I do tarot and the full gamut. If you're a witch and you're watching this, you know what I'm saying. It's the crystals, it's the tarot, it's the connecting with nature and all of that. And it just doesn't, it's not packing the punch for me like it usually does. I mean, I usually go nuts if I see a dragonfly or there's a gust of wind and I'll get all excited, but not lately, not the past few days. So the most important thing for me on my channel, the whole reason that I came on here to begin with, was to sort of share my journey. And one of the biggest things I heard, and I can't remember who the quote comes from, but maybe it's Wayne Dyer, but he says, don't die with your music left inside. And I have had a very colorful life, and I have a lot to talk about and a lot to share and a lot of things to say that I believe can help you. And you know, maybe give a little bit of guidance. And in terms of what I'm going through right now, you know, just a little light post, if you will, just to let you know, if you're going through this, or when you do, you're not losing your mind, and things will get better. The easiest thing to do is to understand that, you know, it's like the Wheel of Fortune. I use a reference of like a clock. You know, you've got the 12 o'clock here, and then down below is the 6. And many times, most of the time, I'm at a 12. But when you're up there, this is kind of the crappy part, but you'll get used to it. You know that the wheel is going to turn. It's just like the Wheel of Fortune card, you know? And I feel like I'm at a 6 right now. I'm at 6 o'clock. But the chill thing to know is that I'm moving around, and eventually I'll be back up at 12. And I'll be sort of a more free me. I mean, every time this happens, it's obvious that it's a spiritual evolution, you know, that we're breaking free of the ego ties a little more and a little more each time. You know, I don't know that there is ever actually, well, I mean, for some people, they had the true spiritual ego death. I'm not trying to get rid of ego, and I'm not trying to reach a goal, but as I study and as I reach really deep into my spiritual journey, you know, reading books and getting to know different tarot spreads and just everything like that, what happens is we put so much in, so much input, and the saying goes, you know, what goes in must come out. And I think that I have a tendency to overload, and there's so much information going in, and eventually there's a breakdown, you know. And I feel like Dark Night of the Soul many times is like a spiritual detox. It's a moment where your higher self, your connection to God or source, just sort of, you unplug in a way. And it's inadvertently, it just literally, your higher self and your conscious awareness right here, the ego self sort of, it unplugs, it gets unplugged so that you can digest and sort of marinate in what you've learned and all of the things that you've put into your noggin. That's the best way that I know how to describe it. So yeah, you know, just so much input and no time to really let it absorb and filter through. So it's a good thing. I know that my first Dark Night of the Soul was definitely more hellish, you know. I didn't know what was going on. And now I kind of have a grasp on it. And I knew, you know, once you start asking yourself the questions of what's wrong with me, and, you know, there's nothing out of place. There's no real reason as to why I should be feeling down and sort of flat, you know. All right, here we go, you know. I'm at a dip. I'm at 6 o'clock again. So I just want to tell you that I know that I'm going to start feeling better and excited and on fire again, and as deeply passionate as I am as a rule, soon enough. And I think that the key is just to let go, you know. Just don't be hard on yourself, and don't try and struggle to get out of the way that you're feeling. Just relax and kind of sit back and enjoy the ride, and know that you will be coming out of it sooner or later. There's definitely no handbook on how to move through life or a spiritual journey, but I don't know. I think that's one of the cool things about YouTube, is that we can all kind of help each other out here. So I really, really hope that this has helped you, and that's about it. I think I've rambled long enough, but I will be back with another video here pretty soon. Like I said, I've been on vacation and just trying to not reflect, do whatever, you know. So yeah, so thanks for watching, and for everybody that is subscribed here, all the people who have been hanging out with me, I really appreciate you. So, all right, that's enough for now. Stay magical and be blessed. See ya.